Dr. Subramanian Swamy, thank you so much for joining us. Sir, if you could just give us details of this new formula that you're proposing.
Well, when the Supreme Court was in a constitutional bench considering the fallout of the demolition of the Babri Masjid, in a judgment which is now known as the Farooqi versus the Union of India, they squarely asked the Solicitor General of Narasimha Rao's government, and you must remember I had a minister rank position in Narasimha Rao's government.
That's right, sir.
And I and Narasimha Rao were very close, and we used to consult each other on almost on a daily basis. And the Supreme Court asked the Solicitor General, please tell us what is the solution in the mind of the government, and put it in an affidavit. They said put it in an affidavit. So the Solicitor General said, yes, give me leave, I will speak to the government and get an affidavit. An affidavit was prepared under the pen of Mr. Narasimha Rao himself, and the affidavit was filed on behalf of the government by the Solicitor General, which said, among other things, that if it is ever shown or proven that there was a pre-existing temple before the Babri Masjid was built, we will hand over the land to the Hindus to do what they want to do. That's the exact wording. Now, you must remember, under the Constitution, the government is not subservient to the Supreme Court except on the constitutional issue. And government is a parallel pole in the Constitution to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court cannot tell the government how to rule, how to conduct administration. It can only talk about the constitutionality.
Sir,
after the affidavit is filed, the Supreme Court included it in its judgment, which means they accepted it. And therefore, now it has been proved that there was an pre-existing temple, so that land belongs to the Ram Bhaktas and the people who want to worship there.
Dr. Swamy, you know, we have seen the RSS so far say, take whatever route. Take the route of ordinance, bring a bill in the ongoing winter session of Parliament, but ensure a Ram temple is built. Why are you proposing it now, sir?
Waste of time. We have already covered the ground. Masjid is not an essential part of Islam. It can be demolished, it can be shifted. Who says this? The Supreme Court. Reaffirmed again in 2018 when they brought in this diversionary tactic when my petition came up for hearing in the Supreme Court. And now that has been also upheld. They said 1994 judgment stands. So masjid is not an essential part. It can be shifted, it can be broken. This is what the Supreme Court says, and has been happening in British India. It happens in Arabic countries. So we are saying to the Muslim community, you want to read namaz, you can read anywhere.
Yes.
And we'll give you another place.
Yes, Dr. Swamy.
But not this place.
But Dr. Swamy, when we look at this petition and the arguments that are going on in the Supreme Court begins its hearing in January, that is next year. You are saying that you will be filing this petition talking about 1994 affidavit next month. Are you also not looking at perhaps running against time, because your government, the BJP, has been promising that a Ram temple will be built, a grand Ram temple will be built, but has not really delivered on that promise, and that's the reason why the RSS and other Hindu groups have been saying that take whatever route, ensure that a Ram temple is built.
Well, I want to make two things clear.
Sir.
I filed this petition in 2016. It was heard. Then the bench said, you have got all these nice arguments, why don't you do it in the main matter? I said the main matter is on whose property it is. I am concerned with my fundamental rights. They said, and they will not accept me there. So he said, the court said, we will direct it to be listed before the other matter. And the first time in 7 years the date was given for my petition, in which these other petitions were added on. And the first day arguments was argued by me. And then the court said, we'll hear the other side and then come back to you. Suddenly, out of the blue, the lawyers, in fact, even our side, the BJP-minded lawyers, they decided that my petition should be dismissed. But I told the court, you have no right to dismiss it because I came in from another court. So they sent it to another court. So the another court date has to be given for me on an old petition, that is 2016, where I've argued all this. And now I'm saying to the government of India, please exercise your authority as the government of India. You are a constitutional authority. You have discharged your responsibility. You have given a solution. The Supreme Court has accepted it. The Supreme Court cannot do anything except say whether we are unconstitutional or constitutional. They have been silent, which means they have accepted it. All you do is inform the Supreme Court, we have handed over the land to the Hindus to build a Ram temple, and we are informing you this is as per Narasimha Rao's affidavit.
So then it should be, perhaps then, according to what you are saying, sir, then the construction of Ram temple can begin at the earliest, only if the government is willing to put forth that view.
Tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. The government should now decide this. And that's why I mentioned in the Dharma Sansad, I mean the Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha conference, Amit Shah was there. Amit Shah is the president, and he said that he has not heard this argument before, so he will refer it to his lawyers, and they will then respond. When the sadhus asked unanimously, please respond to Dr. Subramanian Swamy's proposal. And I am telling you, this is the only proposal, this is the fair proposal, and the Supreme Court cannot object, and we must go ahead without asking Supreme Court's permission, because Government of India is also a constitutional authority. It has responsibility to discharge. We have filed an affidavit saying that if it is proved that it is pre-existing Hindu temple was there, we will give it to the Hindus. So discharge your responsibility and give this land to the Hindus.
Okay, Dr. Swamy, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to speak to you.